Welcome to the Clicks and Giggles podcast. This is your host, Jordan Rockwell Perry, here today. And I want to start off today's podcast with a quote from Dennis Waitley, who wrote The Psychology of Winning, great book. And he said, "You must look within for value, but you must look beyond for perspective." You must look within for value, but you must look beyond for perspective. So today I want to talk about a change of perspective, a change of scenery. And maybe you have been looking inward, like he talks about for value. But if you want perspective, you need to look outward and beyond yourself. And so I just want to encourage you that if you maybe have been in a business rut, that is okay. Summer was here. And I know for some people it was like slow and it was dreadful. Some people enjoyed it. They relaxed. I know that I parted ways with a bigger client of mine, and it just made sense for them to bring some of their digital marketing in-house at this rate of growth. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my time? Because I spent so much time on that client. And so I really had to get a change of scenery and get a change of perspective. And so I'm here today to talk to you about that. So when you are looking inward, like you can't, what do they say? You can't see the label from inside the jar. You feel like you're in the jar of your business per se right now. What I would recommend is a change of scenery. So when you're trying to change your perspective on things, start with a change of scenery. And what that can be, I'm going to give you a few different examples today of how to change the scenery in your business. And I hope it helps you, especially if you've been in a rut or you're like, oh my gosh, fall is coming. I needed the quarter cannot go. The upcoming quarter cannot go the way this past one just did. So what are we going to do? So if you need to change perspective and change scenery in your business, the first thing I would recommend is very simple. If you don't do it already, I highly recommend a weekly coffee shop date. So whether it's just you get a latte and you sit for 90 minutes and change your scenery to get some work done, that is such a good way to just switch things up, kind of trick your brain from being in your office all the time. And you never know who you'll meet. There's nothing like becoming a regular somewhere and people knowing you. And so that would be my first recommendation for a small change of scenery, is to literally change your scenery and go to a coffee shop. So I have on my calendar this week to go to a coffee shop. I'm so excited. And if you end up adding a coffee shop day to your work schedule, let me know, especially when we work from home and we're entrepreneurs, we're go, go, go. Sometimes you can look at the calendar and be like, oh my gosh, like, where did this month go? Where did this week go? Yada, yada. And you're like, wait, I built this for a reason. I know that my husband, Brad, has reminded me from time to time. He's like, you built this business for a reason. So you have the freedom to do this or do that. And so just want to remind you, if you haven't changed the scenery of just your office space, do it, especially the coffee shop couple hours there. If you go with a friend, just have self-control. I will talk the whole time with my friends, so I don't meet them for work unless we know we're just going to chit chat. And another way to change your scenery is like, if you do have an office and need to move things around, go work outside for a little bit, get some sun, work by the pool if you have access to one or have one. I've been working at my dining room table a couple days a week, and I've really enjoyed that. It's a lot brighter in there. And it's just like, if you have a laptop, you literally can work from anywhere. So why not switch it up? So that would be the first thing on changing your perspective, changing your scenery. Next is going to be actually looking at your business. So first, you've changed physically where you are. Next, I want to encourage you to find someone you trust in the online space and ask them if they would be willing to spend 30 minutes on your business and if you could spend 30 minutes on their business, trading out for the services that you guys both do. Now, of course, you can offer to pay them too and say, hey, I would love to pay you for this. This is really what I need. I need an outside view. And I just think I need 30 minutes and see what you could do with that. I know that I have a couple people in the industry that I do that with, and it is so stinking nice to be able to call someone in. You don't need this 90-minute or crazy intensive. It's like, hey, I am stuck on this. What do you see out there? Can you help me with this, etc. But if you really are stuck on something, I want you to make a list of what you feel stuck in and who can help you get unstuck. And so that change there can be bringing in another perspective and someone to help you, someone you really trust. Or if you need to outsource and say, hey, I need an hour call with you. This is what I'm struggling with. Or, hey, I need 90 minutes. Can we do 45 minutes? And the next month, regroup with another 45. People out there are willing to do that. They want to help you succeed. And so just that is another way to get another perspective on your business and get to change the perspective you have had for a while. Something I just did literally tonight is to change perspective on some things and see who's out there and network more, is I joined an online membership group. So networking business group that I had kind of had my eye on for a while, and I'm leaving another one I'm in, so it made sense. I was like, okay, this one is $197 a month. The other one I just canceled was $197 a month. Perfect. And I'm excited because I just joined the Slack and there's all these people in it, all these different names I've never heard of before. There's a couple I have, great. Hello, network, great. But there's a ton that I haven't. And you know what that is such a good reminder of is like there's so many people out there to work with and to impact and help. And sometimes when you are siloed in your own business and your office and helping your clients, it can be like, oh my gosh, this is my roster. This is what I'm working on. Like, same thing every day. And so if you can find an online membership group to join within the niche you work in, or even different that you can A, pour into with some of your expertise, and B, learn from, that is great. Don't get so into it that you don't, which is my next point, is talking about more like networking outside of the house. Don't get glued and dialed into your online groups that you neglect the world out there, which I feel can happen easily post COVID. So I joined the Doers by Ashley Pollard. I respect her, like her, chat with her online here and there. And Riz, who works on my team's ops, and some others I know are in it. And I was like, I'm going to join. I'm going to give it a whirl for a couple months. They have office hours and co-working to just have accountability to get work done, and booked a call with Ashley this coming month to just get her opinion on a few things. She owns an agency as well. So always looking to make those connections that way. And so that's what I just did. I was like, all right, we got to switch things up a little bit. We need to have some people in the world who need to know that I exist, my business exists, I can help them, and vice versa. Who are some new people out there for me to meet, to refer to work with? Look for online membership groups and opportunities to learn and grow that way, and just switch it up, change it up. Even if the change of scenery and perspective is just going to office hours with some new people, learning from the questions they're asking, or just honestly having the accountability of some co-working if you need that in this season, is 10 out of 10. It's great. So we've talked about scenery, perspective, going to coffee shop and doing some work, trading hours with a friend, or hiring an expert in to look at your business, joining an online membership group, or finding some different opportunities to network online. And now I want to talk about in-person events and things to do. So I actually have a tab open for the St. Pete Chamber. I need to join it and get involved. Back when I worked with Chick-fil-A, we did a ton of events with the chamber. Bring the Chick-fil-A cow, some food, just enjoy community. And I'm excited to plug into the St. Pete community that way and join the chamber, see what events they have going on, things that Brad and I can start showing up to. Are there opportunities for my business to sponsor and maybe donate some hours of work, run some ads for different causes that we deem near and dear to our hearts and want to give in kind in that way, and just figure out new rooms to be in and network Also, this all came to be because this coming weekend, I was on the fence about a last minute trip to Scottsdale for this event and didn't know if I was going or not and was not making a decision, which is annoying when I do that sometimes. I don't know if you can relate when you're like, I need to close the loop, as Jennifer Seiss always says. And I was not letting myself close the loop. But, anyways, because of the hurricane that came through, a trip with a friend who was visiting got postponed. And so she's coming in town. And I was like, okay, you are not going to be in a room, air quote, in August. What are you going to do to make up for that? And I was like, okay, I'm going to find an event in August locally that I can go to, because when I go to an event that's a specific like networking all day long or weekend long or retreat or whatnot, I make so many contacts that I will work with forever. And so I'm like, okay, if you're not going to do that, you need to find something this month locally to be part of. So that was part of joining the online membership group too, to make the most of that and be like, you need to go to one or two co-working. That's literally how I talk to myself. If you're not going to do this, you have to do this. I'm like constantly negotiating with myself. And so same thing with the chamber and different events. So now I'm looking at different events that are in August, September, October, November, and saying, hey, what are some rooms that I can be in? I can bring value, but also they may be people to work with and serve through marketing and paid digital advertising down the road. That's a small list of what you can do. I would also recommend journaling about what's true. Like, we cannot trust our feelings. They're going to bring up all sorts of wild things. And so what is true about the season you're in? What is true about your business? How can your business impact people? If you think about that in times where you need a perspective shift, like, why is my business here? What can I do for other people? That will freaking get you going and get you to do whatever it takes to help as many people as you can. So I hope that this episode helps you, it encourages you. I cannot wait to hear how you are shifting your perspective and having a change of scenery within your business and your work. And as always, if you ever have any questions for me or different ideas for future episodes for me to do, just send me a message on Instagram.